Thank you for tuning into Tech TV, the video outlet of the East Carolinian. I'm Caroline West.
And I'm Josh Graham. Thanks for joining us. Police say an ECU student was shot on Easter break. Freshman Kiana White, who was 18 years old, was visiting her home in Elizabeth City when officers responded to a call just after 3 a.m. An uncle of the victim told Wavy TV that White underwent surgery after she was shot 5 times. Tech TV will continue to update you with the latest information at eastcarolinian.com.
2 East Carolina students have been arrested for the January robbery in Clement Residence Hall. A third suspect turned himself into police. Matthew Federici, Austin Papa, and Hunter Tolliver are facing multiple charges. On January 20th, police responded to a report of a robbery in Clement Hall, and one person also reported being physically assaulted during the robbery. The suspects were placed under a $25,000 bond, according to the chief of police.
East Carolina hosted the Board of Governors this week. UNC system board members as well as system faculty and chancellors arrived in Greenville for the April meeting. Board meetings are held once a month. Locations for the meeting alternate between the 17 schools in the system. Committee meetings were held on Thursday and the entire board met on Friday. Chancellor Steve Ballard opened Friday's meeting with the report on ECU, and according to the agenda, students gave presentations to a committee.
Well, the fall 2015 registration period is open. Tech TV reporter Heather Bunn found some tips on how to be successful when signing up for courses. Here's Heather with the story.
Make sure that you're planning ahead.
Academic advisor Jennifer Kabakar says there's nothing students can do to over-prepare when it comes to registering for classes.
It often feels like registration sneaks up on us, and some students it kind of hits them by surprise. Oh my goodness, everybody's registering and I haven't done anything yet.
Kabakar says students start scheduling appointments to meet with her months before registration opens. She says your academic advisor could possibly be your biggest help when preparing to sign up for classes. ECU senior Megan Paul agrees.
Definitely keep in contact with your advisor and always go to them if you have questions. They're really helpful with answering any questions you have, and if you need to get in any classes, they're usually really helpful with figuring everything out for you.
Both Kabakar and Paul advise students to use the waitlist option if it's available when a class is full.
It's a wonderful opportunity for students to kind of get their name in queue so that if a seat does open up, they'll get an email basically telling them, hey, a seat opened up. You have 24 hours to come in and register for this class you've been waiting for.
Kabakar says the waitlist capacity is set by the course instructor, so the number of people on the waitlist varies from course to course. But whatever the number, Paul says the waitlist is a good thing.
Yeah, I always sign up for the waitlist even if there's a lot of people on it, just because you never know, they always drop people from classes and people change.
Kabakar says online courses are another important thing to be familiar with when registering. Courses with the letters TBA under the course time and place signify the course is online. She says ECU supports many different online degree programs, and that means not all classes listed as online are available to all students.
If there's a class you need and it's online, usually what we'll do is we do release those to on-campus students. So if there's something you've got your eye on, I would just say talk to your advisor and say, can I take this online class, or when will this online class be available for on-campus students?
Here at ECU, there's been a legend on campus that if students walk under the cupola, they won't graduate on time. But with academic advising, it's not about superstition. It's just about taking the right classes. I'm Heather Bunn with Tech TV.
Thank you, Heather.
The College of Education has named its new dean, Grant Hayes. He'll begin his duties on July the 30th. He served in the Department of Psychology at James Madison University and most recently at the University of Central Florida as its interim dean of the College of Education and Human Performance.
The College of Education is receiving attention for innovation in preparing teachers for the classroom. East Carolina is one of 9 institutions across the U.S. to complete reaccreditation. Some of the innovations highlighted include a co-teaching model where student interns and new teachers are paired with veteran teachers.
The Career Center is hosting a special event this coming week.
I was chatting with one of my career counselors and just kind of talking about ways that we can do some different programming, and we came up with this Professionals in ... panel series.
Sarah Lage works in the Career Center with athletes, graduate students, and also students who are undecided. Lage shared the schedule for this week.
Monday through Thursday, April 13th through 16th, we're going to have our Professionals in panel series. So on Monday, we're having Professionals in Education. Tuesday, we're having Professionals in Nursing. Wednesday is Professionals in Counseling. And then on Thursday is Professionals in Communication.
Lage said the event is for all students.
All the panels will be available via Saba meeting. So if students aren't able to attend, whether they've got class or if they've got something else going on, or for the distance education students, this is kind of a way that we can reach out to the DE students. They can participate via Saba meeting, and we'll be getting those links out this week as well.
Well, this weekend, downtown Greenville will host its annual Pirate Fest. It is estimated 35,000 people will participate in the event, which features concerts, food vendors, and much more. For the first time, Pirate Fest will also feature carnival rides. The event begins Friday at 5 p.m.
Downtown Greenville is opening up more healthy options. TECTV reporter Ashley Federici has the story.
With summer right around the corner, many students are looking to get in shape. Luckily, the Uptown Greenville District is providing new healthy food options and activities. ECU senior and fitness instructor Lauren Glenn shares her thoughts.
There's so many bad options downtown, like Sup Dogs and like Fitzgerald's, all the French fries and everything you can get, and it's important to have like healthy smoothies and stuff that college students can access easily so that they're not always eating the junk that's there.
Uptown restaurants are now serving fresh farm-to-table menu choices. Also, coming in May, Uptown will be hosting a weekly farmers market featuring locally grown produce.
Well, when you're exercising is like, it's like 80% exercise, 20% diet. So if you're eating crap all the time and you're working out, nothing is going to add up. So it's really important to have those healthy options so that you're balancing everything out.
For exercise options, Purple Blossom Yoga Studio and Uptown Nutrition hold weekly workouts in the town commons. The Tar River Greenway is also an option for many outdoor activities.
I really like the rec center, but I love running on the Greenway because it's fresh when it's nice outside and fresh air. And
I'm Ashley Federici reporting for TECTV.
Relay for Life of East Carolina is happening on Saturday. It will begin on 10 a.m. and end 3 a.m. on Sunday at North Recreational Complex. So far, there are 52 teams signed up and have raised a little over $42,000.
21 people die a day from organ failure. In part of National Donate Life Month, a passport event has been organized to deal with its impact. TECTV reporter Kai Jones has the story.
Although my driver's license identified me as an organ donor, I never expected to have personal experience with that.
Maureen Hooker is a senior citizen who not too long ago had a bleak outlook. Hooker came to ECU's passport event by organ donor awareness to share her experience as a receiver of an organ.
After chemotherapy for breast cancer, I developed heart failure.
After that, Hooker looked it up on Google and knew 5 years was a life expectancy with that diagnosis. So she said she started to be smart about life.
I have to stay healthy enough until 5 years, and maybe something will come along.
Getting an organ is hard. There are more than 3,000 people waiting for an organ in North Carolina, and more than 120,000 in the U.S. total, and the doctors let her know that.
They all seem to have the same story, like you're not going to last much longer unless you really do something, and do something meant not get a heart, because you know that's a whole magic all by itself.
So Hooker had a long talk with her husband and decided to get the surgery once they came back from their vacation. While on vacation, Hooker received a miraculous call.
The telephone rings, and I can't even believe I heard it. I picked the phone out of my purse and I said, you know, it's Maureen. And somebody said, this is Jessica from the transplant clinic. What are you doing? Where are you? And I said, well, I'm right outside the Ferris wheel. She said, can you get in the car in 15 minutes and come straight to the hospital?
They had found a heart for Hooker. She had been on the waiting list for a while, and she was the only one that could match that heart between North Carolina and Washington, D.C. After the surgery, Hooker reached out to the family of the daughter who died. At first, she admitted that it was hard to communicate, but after 2 years, communication was open and emotional.
We talked on the telephone. You see the whole process now. This is like 2 years later. This is what's happening. And, you know, we start to talk and just cry.
Hooker also read a letter from the mother of the donor, pictured here, who discussed the thought process of donating her daughter's organs.
My husband and I discussed and ultimately decided to donate our child's organs based on two things. The first being that if we could spare just one family from experiencing the pain that we were going through, then it would be worth it. The second reason was that our Shelley was a giver, and she truly loved helping others. So it was only fitting that organ donation be her final gift.
Shelley Whitman was 26 when she passed away. leaving behind a 6-year-old little boy who had also lost his father. Hooker couldn't help but to feel survivor's remorse, so she decided to do something.
I came to ECU, as a matter of fact, and my husband and I started, it's a small thing, it's a scholarship for children of organ donors.
Hooker's story has many narratives and takeaways. The letter from Whitman's mother ended this way. Pause to enjoy the sunshine and even the rain. Stop to smell the roses and give your loved ones an extra squeeze. With TECTV, I'm Kai Jones.
Earlier this week at ECU football practice, Ruffin McNeil dismissed tight end Darren Dowdell from the program for violating team rules. The 6th-year coach didn't specify what rules were broken by Dowdell, who was a redshirt sophomore that never appeared in game action. The Pirates will kick off their second spring scrimmage on Saturday morning at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. On to baseball, Cliff Godwin's Diamond Bucks are on a tear on the road this week at St. Pete this weekend, preparing for a series against the South Florida Bulls. In a midweek game in Bowie's Creek on Tuesday, ECU beat Campbell 7-5 at Jim Perry Stadium to generate some momentum heading into the weekend. Both third baseman Jackson Mims and shortstop Hunter Allen pumped out 3 hits apiece, and the Pirates have now won 3 of their last 4 games going into Friday's action.
Not often do you get to bring in an assistant coach with a Hall of Fame background. ECU's new assistant volleyball coach brings in a culture of winning. TECTV reporter Kai Jones has the story.
I wanted to be a coach ever since I picked up volleyball.
Chris Rose is a new assistant coach for ECU's volleyball team. His previous coaching experience was as a volunteer, and Rose comes into his new job with a nice goal.
You know, I want to try and win an American Conference championship.
Rose even has a long-term goal for ECU's volleyball program.
You know, the main goal would be winning the national championship, but you got to take baby steps to get where you want to go.
Rose's hiring is big for ECU because his dad is a Hall of Fame coach in volleyball. Russ Rose is the head of Penn State's dynasty in the sport, and the younger Rose says his dad was a big influence.
Just being around a championship culture. I mean, he's got 7 total, 6 out of the last 8. I mean, he's got Phil Jackson tweeting him, you know, you're the GOAT, you're the greatest of all time. I mean, that's big time. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Chris Rose's mother was also pretty good at volleyball.
Can't leave moms out of the conversation, right? I mean, 3-time All-American, had some national team stuff under her belt too, so she was, you know, she's the all-time kill leader at Penn State, you know, and that will never be touched now that we went from side-out scoring to rally scoring.
While Chris comes with a great background, he still has doubters.
I mean, people are like, oh, that's Coach Rose's son. He's got to know what's going on. And there's people who are like, yeah, that's just Coach's son. He doesn't really know what's going on. He's just here because of, you know, and for me, I'm cool with it both ways. I just want to show people that, you know, I know what I'm doing. I want to be really good at what I'm doing. You know, I always tell people if I have half of a career as my dad, or not even half, you know, a quarter, I still might be in the Hall of Fame.
Head volleyball coach Julie Torbett played under Rose's father before Chris was born.
You know, I have watched him grow up, and that's pretty cool too, to be able to give him his start, to be able to mentor him in a different way.
Coach Torbett says when she needed a new assistant coach, she called her old coach for guidance, and he gave her 2 names, laid out both their strengths, but Torbett wanted Chris.
So I called Chris and said I was interested in him applying for the job, to look for it when it was posted, to apply for it, and had a conversation with him just about my philosophy, you know, what I'm trying to build here, what I'm trying to do, what ECU is about. And after he got off the phone, he said, Dad, I'm going to ECU. And his dad said, you haven't even talked to anybody, you haven't even applied.
He's only been here for a short time, but Rose says the future is bright.
Just the vibe in the gym. Everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to get better. And there's a lot of schools out there that are still trying to get that culture established. Now once that's established, then the magic starts happening.
Rose says he knows what he wants to do in his stint at ECU.
Someone once told me you just want to make every place you go a little bit better than the way you found it.
And he's confident in his ability to do just that.
Everything I learned from my dad and just being around that gym is, I think I'll be all right, just being around that culture.
With TECTV, I'm Kai Jones.
Thank you for watching TECTV. For all updates, you can check out theeastcarolinian.com. We'll see you next week.